Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. Heading to work today. I got a park that's coming in early this morning. Typically I don't work weekends, but the last couple of weekends it seems like that's what I've been having to do on my Saturday. So I got an El Camino project that I'm kind of working on. I've got the rear main seal transmission on the Pathfinder still. Finally got that out. Had my boss come over and let him work his magic on that exhaust. Which I was able to drop down and get it just enough out of the way so that way I can remove the transmission and transfer case. Now I got to separate the transfer case from the transmission, and that whole 10-yard worth of fun. Any rate, so I need some sockets. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Man, I feel like I have too many damn sockets. But the fact remains that I no longer have these tool companies anymore, so I can't exactly warranty them out. I know a lot of you are going to say down in the comments, just ship them, bro. Or sometimes I get some of you guys trying to be really nice and reach out there and help a brother out, so to speak, by saying, hey man, just ship them to me, I'll get them warrantied out for you, no problem. If you have any problems getting it warrantied through Snap-on or Cornwall or etc., which is awesome. I really appreciate that. However, if I was to send off all those sockets, guess what? That is correct, I would not have sockets for the job, which makes it kind of inconvenient. And though I have the help and support of our lovely YouTube community, I know not every one of you guys has that same exact luxury. So let's get real for a minute. What do you do if you don't have a Snap-on truck or Cornwall truck and that is who you bought your sockets from? Well, you fight the good fight. You find the bestest, most cheapest thing that you can possibly afford to get you through it, and maybe you can send them in yourself and get them warranted. So that's what we're doing today. I've got a limited time. All right, so I've got about a 15 to 20 minute window to go inside, pick a appropriate mechanic socket set, and then off to work. All right, we're on a mission. We are on a socket mission. We know exactly where to go, which portion of the aisle to go to. So now we're gonna see if we can't find the very most bestest of bestest. That might actually not be a half bad tool set right there. 268 piece, 180 bucks. Gonna cover most of our needs. 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. I don't know how you can really beat that, dude. $179. Look at that. Lifetime warranty. It's Husky. 3 different ratchets. Nice drill, nice organizer. Got some other bits in there. Ratchets, extensions, etc. Okay, so the deep sockets is where we're lacking. Looks like they cover everything for shallow, 1/4 inch, 3/8. Haven't even got to the 1/2 inch just yet, but not really impressed with the deeps on here, guys. Okay, 1/4 inch covers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. But then for 3/8, we kind of drop off the face of the earth here. 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That's a hard set to win. Let's look at it one more, and then we gotta get ready to go. Husky, you are killing me. You are absolutely killing me with the deeps. That's even for the 150. Oh, Husky, how you freaking kill me, man. I swear. I had a plan. I had a good plan. It felt pretty solid this morning to me. But I'm not just gonna dive in and buy some set that I'm not gonna be able to really use. It's not practical to miss that many sizes. If that mechanic set would have had complete sizes, or at least matching sizes in both deep and shallow, it would have been one thing. The fact that they didn't is quite the other. Oh, the ongoing joys of being a mechanic. I swear, man. You see, and to most anyone else, that would have been an absolute phenomenal set, because let's face it, you're probably not going to run into as many situations that I run into with the types of sockets that I'm required to have. But for God's sakes, Husky, can we make a matching set? Oh my God, man. You go out of your way to throw in as many pieces as you possibly can to make it enticing for someone. They see that and they're like, yes, what a good deal, until you look at the back of the box. And I always recommend that you guys look at the back of the box to see what contents you're actually getting. I even saw that they threw some 8-point in there. Husky, I would have rather you just didn't give me any 8-point at all and made it a complete 6-point set, deep and shallow metric SAE. That's what I wanted from you. Not this, you know, whatever you decide to come up with throwing in some random 8 pieces and 8 points and freaking Allen keys that do me no freaking good. I'm not looking for Allens. If I'm not looking for a socket set, I'm wanting little Allen keys. I'm not going for a socket set to find me an 8-piece set. Come on, Husky, come on. All right, so as you guys can see, got my work cut out for me today. I'm not sure exactly how far we're gonna get on El Camino. I don't know if I want to pull the engine today or hold off and wait for assistance. If that be the case, I might at least do the valve cover gaskets. Now over here on my Nissan project, I got the transmission out. I got to separate the transfer case, get it onto the transmission, and then I have to do the rear main seal in it as well. And I don't know if the rear main seal is here or not. I got my fluid and filter kits. Actually, yeah, here's the rear main seal right here. I don't know which fluid and filter kit we're gonna need just yet, but that'll be once I get it stabbed. Here's my El Camino kit. And you guys were asking about what kind of cleaner we use. This is the type of cleaner that I use to flush out the trans cooler lines, which I'll be showing you how to do that later. All right, so we got the shop's got a case of water. I'm grabbing this energy drink, putting that one in here. There's my soda, some water. That's why they call me Mellow Yellow. Some lunches. Got my pizza, my corn dogs. I got my Mary Calendars and my chimichangas with my chola hot sauce. Oh yeah. All right, so the Napa lady should be here any minute. So I got to get rolling. The next stop you guys will see is hopefully us being down at Lowe's, seeing if we can get the sockets warrantied out. Might even pick up a 1/4 inch or 3/8 set. All right, guys, so looking at the back of this box here for a minute, one of the more noticeable differences that I noticed between this mechanic set and one of the Husky sets that I was looking at earlier this morning was that when it comes to the deep and shallow 3/8 drive, okay, on the deep side we got 10 through 19. On the shallow side it covers 7 through 21. But at least you're getting a closer matched set. So if you were wanting at least 10 through 19, they got you covered. They don't give you any kind of gimmicky 8-point sockets, which is a huge benefit. Coming over here to the 1/4 inch, you'll notice that they have 4 all the way through 14 in deep and shallow as well. One of the sockets that I would have liked to have seen that are not in this set is the 5.5 millimeter. That would have been a nice touch, a nice little cherry on top, if you will. But no big deal. Only time you're ever gonna run into that is on Fords. So if you're not working on a Ford, I wouldn't worry about it too much. All right, now we're also gonna get some other goodies here, but I think instead of covering it on the back of the box, let's just open it up and see what we get. All right, you guys are seeing it as I'm seeing it. First time, we're doing it live, baby, come on. Let's open it up, let's check it out. So opening up the top lid, what do we got here? Looks like a sizing chart of everything that it comes with, to include part numbers, which will come in handy, and we'll talk about the reasons why that might come in handy later. Now let's look and see what they give us. So we got some SAE, some metric Allens here. Looks like a couple of the wrenches fell out. Let's put them back in their little perspective positions here, if you will. Let's see, this thing's all kind of bunched up. I don't know what I did. Oh, looks like one jumped over here. So we got some incorrect sizing, that's all right. We can fix that. Toss that guy over there. 11/16 here. 15 over here. And this little 1/4 inch guy up here. All right, so one of the first things that I kind of noticed is that the wrenches, as you get into the bigger sizes, look to be pretty much what you're gonna expect out of a Craftsman, but I can definitely tell a huge difference between this newer made in China version versus the made in USA ones, just as far as the dexterity and the overall look and feel of the metal. Coming down to the smaller sizes, not exactly sure what we can expect tolerance wise here, but at least they go down to 1/4 inch and they're giving you the small wrench and not those little gimmicky ignition ones that we all hate. Let's go into the first drawer here. So it looks like we got a couple of little deals that we pop open here on the side to keep the drawers closed for you in case you're traveling. Okay, first drawer, let's see what we got here. Pulling this out, we'll just pull it out all the way and set it up top. What do we got? So we got the new square styled 3/8 drive ratchet. So there's one for the books, little lock button there for the detent. That's kind of nice. 1/4 inch. I got a 6-inch extension, 3-inch extension, 1/4 inch, 6-inch, 1/4 inch. A couple of universal adapters there, a 3/8 to 1/4 inch step down. They give you a socket or a bit driver, so that's kind of nice. I wonder if they have an adapter for your socket. We'll look to that a little bit later on. Nope, no worries there. You don't have to even connect it. You can, so on my 1/4 inch driver that I currently have, and I'll show you here. Give me a second. But on the 1/4 inch driver that I actually have, you'll see that you can just put a socket right on there and it's an extension. The Craftsman one does not have that on that end. It has a hex key in here, but the benefit to this set is instead of having you go back and forth, and you can use either the bits or they give you the actual driving portion themselves to put in to the end. Oop. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Give me 1 second. Come on, baby. So that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Look at that. That is a pretty cool feature. Now that goes up to 12mm, it looks like on the one, and 1/2 inch on the other. Sockets looks like we're covering from 5/32 all the way up to 9/16. We're going from 4 all the way up to 14, only missing the 5.5, but no skips. And then for 3/8, we're going from 1/4 inch all the way up to 15/16, and from 7mm all the way up to 21. So that's nice. Let's put that first drawer back in there. Pull out drawer number 2. Here's our deep sockets. Now we're getting into it. Oops, looks like I'm missing one. I wonder if that fell off while we were driving. Huh. Nope. I am just straight up missing one socket. Well, that is kind of disappointing. I guess that means I'm gonna have to go back to Lowe's. Oh no, here we go. Man, I was gonna say, really? I know more than buy the set and I'm missing one. Okay, 3/16, so that's gonna start off down here. So these just hop over one. Woo, totally thought the set was missing when I was gonna be like, come on, man. All right, we're going from 3/16 all the way up to 9/16. Then we're going from 4 all the way up to 14 in deep. And look at the style here for the metric. That's the newer style with the etching there. And then for the SAE, big embossed, laser etched. Here's a couple of these spark plug sockets you get, 5/8 and 13/16. We go from 1/4 inch up to 13/16 on the 3/8 drive, and from 10mm all the way up to 19mm. So that's a lovely little socket set there. Now, we'll come on down here to the last one, oh, which is the big dog stuff, our 1/2 inch. Nice big old square ratchet. Seems to be pretty fine tooth. I do like the square handle design. I do like that. For the 1/4 inch stuff, I'm not sure because, you know, your boy's fingers. Anyway, we got 5/32 up to 3/8 as far as your Allen sockets. So that's kind of a nice little added benefit. They give you a universal joint for 1/2 inch. We're going from 13mm all the way up to 24mm on the shallow, and from 3/8 all the way up to 1 inch on the SAE side, also shallow. So no deeps, but at least you got some 1/2 inch stuff. Again, for 150 bucks, I'm saying that this is a pretty phenomenal set. You get an awful lot of stuff in this mechanics toolkit that I think will work out very well for you. And if you ever need to get the 1/2 inch deeps or impacts, you can just buy them separately, add to your kit. One more thing that I would like to add here before we do our conclusion. I definitely like the way that this mechanics case was built. Now, a couple years back, I did one discussing the Cobalt Mechanics toolkit, and the sides of it were practically falling apart, and all I had done was pull the drawers out one time. This being a lot more heavier duty made, and it seems to be a lot better quality. So I think with the jouncing around that I did coming from Palm Desert back up here, only having a couple of tools move around, that's not half bad. All right, so I'm gonna do a couple of things with you guys today. We're gonna flush the lines out to this transmission cooler, which is built into the radiator. We are gonna be doing the rear main seal on this Nissan Pathfinder. And how we're gonna flush these lines out is we're gonna be using the cooler clean, which I was telling you guys about. And I think we got that from O'Reilly's. And I've been asked, hey man, cool flashlight holder, who makes it? I'll put the link down in the description for you guys so you can check that out. All right, so first things first, we're gonna take off this hose and I'm gonna see if I can't attach the cooler cleaner to there. If not, we're gonna feed it through one end of the hose, spray until all the nasty stuff comes out and into the catch drain. And then we'll go from there. And we're gonna be using the new Craftsman mechanics tool set that we picked up today. How about that? All right, so first thing I'm gonna need is some 1/4 inch stuff. So I'm gonna start off with our little fancy driver and our 1/4 inch little dealio. Turn that into a nut driver. Set the sockets off to the side. We'll be using that to hopefully disconnect and remove this trans cooler line. Like so. Yeah. We're gonna have to break that free with some pliers. Now, notice that in the video, there's a nice little trough in the very top portion of this. So if you do have a nice little plier set, you can throw your extra pliers in there, stuff for the go. Obviously, the mechanics tool set is more focused on sockets and wrenches than they are pliers, which is okay by me because we didn't end up with a bunch of gimmicky stuff that we didn't want. But we can fit our pliers in there, or whatever you should so desire to put in there. But for me, I think that's a great place to put your pliers. All right, so I'm just gonna crack it loose. Let's see what we're dealing with here. All right, perfect. So, let's set this hose off to the side. And now what we're gonna have an issue here is that this will not thread into it, but we do wanna cover the hole going into it. And then we wanna make sure that the catch pan is directly underneath the other trans cooler line. Hopefully that's enough light for you guys. I'm wearing safety glasses, so that way I don't accidentally get the crap in my eye. I'm gonna, just for an example, I'm gonna spray it in first so you can see what comes out. Then I'm gonna bring the pan up a little bit higher. Like so. See, it's already starting to come out pretty clear. So that's good, which means I actually had it draining pretty good. So I'm gonna raise it up a little bit higher. We're gonna run a whole can through the entire system. Okay, so once you guys have ran a complete can through the cooler, washing out all that nasty transmission fluid, they're then gonna want to wash out the flush. And how you're gonna do that is use compressed air. You're gonna go through one side like so, and we're just gonna apply air until all the cleaner is out. All right, so now once you guys have pushed air through the entire system and you got all that flush kit cleaner out, then it's safe to go ahead and hook up your lines, and you can go ahead and put your transmission in, change your fluid and filter, and you should have a really clean system. Once that air goes through and it's down to a very light mist, you know you've ran enough air through to get as much of that flush kit out of there as possible. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff moved around, and then we'll be right back to do the rear main seal. All right, so to begin with, I'm gonna use our 10 deep with our new Craftsman little ratchet. Oh yeah, you know what? So far, I really like the way that that ratchet feels, man. I gotta say, I wasn't too sure about the whole square handle. So yeah, gonna have to give it a couple thumbs up on that one. Just spin those out by hand. They're loose enough now. Yeah, smooth teeth, smooth design. I don't mind the handle whatsoever. I'm gonna have to give it to Craftsman on that one. I can dig it. All right, so now that I got that freed up, what my next goal is to take a chisel and a hammer, maybe lightly tap some of the surrounding area to pull it out. I'm just trying to kind of get up underneath there if I can. I'm trying to catch the corner of one side is really my goal. Get up underneath there. Okay, here we go. Yep. That's how I'm gonna have to do it. Come on. There we go. That's one side. Yeah, baby, go, go, go. Yeah. That's what we were looking for. Woo! Got it. Come on. Come on, baby. Work with me. There we go. And one thing is I believe this hard and crusty seal, hang on. I believe this hard and crusty seal that's on the bottom here comes with the oil pan gasket kit. And so here we are again, where we have half of what we need. Isn't that cool? Oh, the irony. So it looks like they did kind of mess up back at the plant. I ended up not getting my 14 millimeter. I got two 9/16. I need to use one today. I'm gonna have to take this kit home, go through the entire kit, and then sometime Monday when I can afford to head back down the hill, I'll take the things back that I have duplicates of and let them know the things that I'm missing. All right, let's get at it, man. I'm kind of running out of time here. I didn't want to spend all day at the shop. I just kind of wanted to tinker around, show you guys a few of these tools, put them in action, so to speak, on the Craftsman set. Jump to 9/16 on the socket. We'll see how the 3/8 drive ratchet works. Yeah, all right. Would not have minded a longer handle, that's for sure. But pretty darn good. And that's on there pretty good too, so let's see how the 9/16 stacks up. So the box end works nice. Now I was talking with the Den of Tools about this the other night on the Maintenance Man's live stream, but the box end is what mechanics are really after as far as their use and abuse. You rarely find any of us using the open end in a situation like this to try to see, if we can get something loose. I mean, to use the open end in this manner the entire time, unless you're in a really tight area, your chances are you're not going to be using that end too much, but the box end, you will be. And why am I doing this by hand like this? Because I'm in a tight spot, so I'm going to need to use a ratchet wrench for the rest of it. Now I'm going to need 1/2 inch for this in order to get this piece off. The other part of the linkage down here is also 9/16, and I'll need a 1/2 inch for up top. So now that we've tried out our wrench and our ratchet, no slips and teeth yet, so that's good. That was my hand slipping, not the ratchet. I think at this point, oh yeah, there's a nut on the back side. That's why. That's why all the headache. I'm like, boy, this thing sure isn't going anywhere, is it? So it's a good thing we have our wrench out anyways. All right, so we got that taken off. Nice, once we're ready to pop that off, we'll put this nut back on. Now we're gonna need a 1/2 inch. I think we'll use deep. 1/4 inch. Let's see how it works on the gun. So far, so good to me. There we go. Take that off. Toss those up there. Let's see, are you good? I think you're 1/2 inch too. Yeah, I know. It's not a hammer, Justin. It's a goddamn socket. Yeah. I was being lazy. That's why I said. You might follow a lot of people who will do what their variation of impractical is or practical is. And I will show you a mechanic that really does put his tools to the full test to see how they hold up over time. Okay? Because I could have used the hammer for that, but you saw the Milwaukee and the socket both held up. Even though it didn't crack this sucker away from the transmission, they still work. I know, all right. Put it down in the comments, Jesus. All right, moving on. Now we're gonna need 9/16 again. I'll get a ratchet wrench for that one. Put this up here in our tray for now. Actually, we can crack them loose with this and then run them out. Back to the abuse. I'll need an extension for that one. I'll need a ratchet wrench for those. Okay. Before we put all of our goodies away, we will crack them loose with the Craftsman, and then I will run them out with the gear wrench. That's what we'll do. Let's see, I don't know if I cracked these loose yet though. Oh, I didn't. So this is perfect timing for abuse. Let me find a good abuser. So in my hand, I have a double boxing, also Craftsman. On this T case, let me see if you guys can see that. You'll notice that I have a 9/16 wrench that I need to separate this fastener with. Something that you will end up doing at least once in your mechanical lifetime is what's called a double in. So that's a double wrench. You'll see that. You'll see mechanics doing it when they need more leverage. Of course, people are going to advise you not to do so because that's abuse. It's tool abuse. But how will you know if the tool's going to hold up under those certain circumstances? Because what if you can't get, like I said, a ratchet in there? Now you guys saw I couldn't get the cordless ratchet in there. And I bet you, if I was to grab our Craftsman ratchet with even the shallow socket, I bet you we still can't fit it into that tight spot. Huh? We are there, but not on the one on the bottom, because the head is just too big and it's putting me at an angle, which then I risk rounding the head of that bolt off. So an open end or box end wrench would be your best friend in that certain situation. I wouldn't use the open end portion. I would, of course, try to use the box end, but if I needed to double wrench it, I will. All right, so that's loose. Maybe nope, can't get it out by the finger. Don't you hate that? It's like just tight enough where you can't get it out with your finger, but just loose enough to where you can't use the ratchet wrench hard enough. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I think once I separate this T-case from the transmission, I think I'm gonna call it for today. I got some things that I gotta do at the house, and I've been falling on the wayside of my chores lately. I wanted to come to work. I didn't know how far along I would get today. Thought I'd bring you guys along with me for another day in the life, so to speak. Use a pry bar, not a flathead, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you guys, we are legit here. No bolts holding it in. Should not have been that difficult, but sometimes they're stubborn. I don't know. Rock and roll. Alright guys, well thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed the 224 piece Craftsman mechanic tool set. In conclusion, look, I think it's a pretty phenomenal set. Like I said, as far as a lot of the sets that I've looked at, as far as Husky, I've looked at the Duralast sets, I've looked at some of the Cobalt sets, I've looked at just a handful of socket sets during my years of searching for more complete sets, and I feel like this Craftsman set actually was the more complete set. Now, I didn't have the time or opportunity today to go to Harbor Freight to see how complete or non-complete their sets were, their mechanic sets. I know a lot of you guys out there, huge Harbor Freight fans, and you're going to tell me, hey man, the mechanic sets from Harbor Freight are freaking awesome. And hey, didn't you just have issues with warranty with the Craftsman stuff? Why on earth would you ever buy Craftsman anything? Okay, a couple of reasons. One, I did have an issue with the warranty, but it was more specifically on the impact socket side, and there were other issues when it came to the cordless lineup, which I inquired about, and their air tool lineup. Now, their chrome sockets or wrenches, which you saw me using in the video, they actually will warranty out those specific items. One of the other issues that I had heard them say, which then became not so much an issue, was well, you had to have bought it from our store. I think that's a little bit exaggerated, and that's a load of BS in my opinion. When I called them out on it, they redirected it and said, okay, well look, even if you didn't buy it from us, and it is Craftsman, if it was chrome, we would cover it, but it's an impact, we're not covering it, you gotta get a hold of Craftsman themselves. Fine, fine. That being said, I do believe that this 224 piece mechanic set is actually the more complete set that I've seen, and I believe their boxes that it comes in, all the sockets that they come in, is more heavier duty than what I've seen from, like, say, Cobalt, or even some of the other cases that are out there that you can find that are a little bit more janky, if you know what I mean. Alright, well at any rate, that'll pretty much wrap it up for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Look, I'm going to be back at it again tomorrow. I'm heading back to the shop. I want to try to get there early in the morning while it's relatively cool. It sucks that I ended up with 2 9/16. That means I have to make an extra special trip sometime Monday or Tuesday or whenever I can afford to head on back down the hill to exchange that wrench for a 14mm. But we'll be using and abusing some more Craftsman tools tomorrow. So
If you want to watch me wrench or hang out with me or see what it is that I'm working on or just watch the tools in action, well, tomorrow's another day. Thanks as always for watching. See you guys next time. Cheers and deuces.